Hi everyone, welcome to Quilt Camp. I'm Lizzy Allen. I'm camp educator for quilting rulers. Today we're going to have some fun. We're going to build some bridges, climb some mountains while creating fabulous fun quilting designs. So before we get started, safety first. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that we need to do. Today I'm actually using my fabulous Unique 21X Elite. It's my favourite. I've also got my settings on precise, and I'm going to be using the machine with start stop with the needle in the down position. And without further ado, let's get started. So safety first. First thing I've made sure is that I have the right hobbing foot on for quilting with a ruler. Now, most of our quilting rulers should be about 1/4 inch perspex, and you'll see that this quilting ruler has some fabulous increments, 1/8, 1/4 inch, and of course our foot is 1/4 inch. So that actually really helps us with less marking on our quilt. You girls can mark your quilt tops, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Or you can use the increments on here so that you don't actually have to mark. You'll notice I have my ruler base on, and that's so as I'm guiding, my ruler has something nice and easy to work on. And of course the ruler foot. So I've gone and changed it to my ruler foot, and I do need one, because the last thing I need is the ruler to slip underneath my foot and actually the needle breaks and I do the timing on the machine. So let's get started. So let's go over. Now, the wonderful thing about ruler work is it actually adds element and design and feature to our blocks. So this is just our pre-printed block. So the first thing I do is needle up, needle down, and this brings up my bobbin thread. And I'm going to make sure that I block off that thread. That just means that the moment I start stitching, that I'll have proper tension by locking the threads off. The other thing I've done is my machine is on precise, and if you'll notice, I've actually asked the machine to stop and start with the needle in the down position. It just gives me the confidence I need that when I swivel or move the ruler, that the machine's not going to be running away from me. So here we go. Now, the idea is that you're guiding your machine down the ruler edge. You don't press down. It's literally just relax your hand. You don't need to be tight or wound up, and you just literally just guide it down. Now, I like to usually ditch the block first. Sometimes I can be a little bit excited and want to get into it, so here we go. And you'll notice as I get to the corner, I stop, I then pivot my ruler, and away I go. Now, some people will just stop and move their ruler and slide it. You can do that if you prefer. Just simply stop and guide your ruler into the next position. And this is why we stop with the needle in the down position. So over we go. And I'm back to the start. Now, straight line quilting has been around for years. We always used to do it on our domestic machine. Well, now we have the fun ability to do it on our long arm machines. So now what I just did then is, you can see these little increments. I want to do crosshatch. So each one of these lines is 1 inch. So I've just gone across, backtracked. I'm at 1 inch, so now I swivel the ruler, I can see here that I'm guided, and away I go. It's really that easy. Stop, and I pivot, line it up, and away I go. Now, if you would like to mark your quilt top before you start, that's perfectly okay. I used to do that all the time just so that it made me comfortable. Now, I'm going to travel across to there because this is great. Now, if I was doing a border, we would call this piano keys. So it really is an easy way to add dimension to a border. So, and one more. Now, when you quilt, just make sure your quilt top it's firm, but not drum tight. And just line up there. And as you can see, I just backtracked up that original ditch line and away we go. And you know, I love a good thread, so I'm just using a little bit of finesse variegated just to add an element to this block. The nice thing is, once upon a time, we did a lot of ditch work, and it was hard work if our seams weren't the right way. It created problems. Now, it's so okay to stitch straight across a block design and add another element. And of course, that's why I like variegated thread. It adds a really pretty element to the design. Now that I'm finished stitching it, just lock off those stitches, come back, bring up that bobbin thread, use my snips, and we've done just a little pretty cross-hatch design on there. You can do so many things with fun line design. Okay, so this is block number 2, and I really like this block. I love the detail in the little triangles. So, you know how I said to you I really like straight line? It's because it's engaging the texture that it places on the quilt block. So I'm going to use the design element of the block to quilt the design. So using the blue water soluble pen, I actually drew some lines. And what that is so I don't actually have to unpick, it's basically encoring the design before I start stitching. And I've said to myself, well, how am I going to go about stitching this design? So that's always a good thing. It gives you confidence to know that the path that you're going to go and the bridges that you're going to cross, that you're going to make it. I'm going to travel across to my next point. And the nice thing is, once upon a time, we used to only ever ditch a block. And, you know, it's really rather boring. This way we get to quilt the elements within a block. Travel across. Now, my ruler isn't that big, So I hope you can actually see that. I found that working with rulers, that if they were too long, I became unbalanced. So I'd rather stop at a point or a junction like this where you're not going to see anything go wrong, and realign myself. Some people travel with the ruler. I personally like to realign. Then let's travel across. Travel down. And then I'm going to travel over to here because I forgot some diagonals on this side. Then when we have a look at this block, I really like it because there's designs within the design. So it created a crosshatch in the centre, which was a focal point. And then here we just have lovely radiating lines. It's quite fast, it's quick, and it's adding more elements to our patchwork. Block 3 is also straight line quilting. And then this time, using the foot as a guide, I'm going to stop, and you'll see that my foot's here and the edge of my stitching's here. And I'm just going to create like a mini chevron, all with just a straight line. And travel. So we don't need to spend a huge amount of money to get going and have a lot of fun. And I'm just going to travel down now and do the rest of the block so that you can actually see what we can create and how much fun we can have with our quilting machines. So what we're doing is we're creating lines within lines. And, you know, we used to want to ditch everything. And that was really hard because if we were ditching and our seams weren't perfectly flat, we had stitching on top of the other part of the ditch line, and we got very upset. With this way, it doesn't matter. Because what we're doing here is we're using the elements of the patchwork that we've created. Now this is where I'm going to have a bit of fun. And this is how we create those continuous lines. Before I travel up here and I finish and I ditch the outer block, I want to do something in here. So now I'm just going to grab one of my little circles, and this is where I can have a bit of fun. I'm just creating half moons. I'm really happy with that. So now I'll travel back up. And to keep that element of surprise, because I tucked those circles in, I'll just go and add some here. I'm back here, so now let's just stitch the outside of that. Now truly, I probably should have ditched the outside of the block first, but in this particular case, it really didn't matter. So you can see what we've done here is just adding a second element of a curve has created quite a pretty little block. You girls say, oh, I can't custom quilt. Yes, you can. Block number 4. So I tricked you and suddenly brought in a circle. These circles are so much fun to work with. I will be a good girl and I will ditch the outside of the block first. There's so many great designs that we can create with rulers. Okay, so I ditched it. Now I was thinking, what if I did half round circles to here and then I did some sort of element in here? So let's get a larger circle. One of the things to think about is when I use the foot, naturally it's going to be a 1/4 inch from here. So I quite like that arc and that size so that it's not too elongated. So let's see what we can create. Come down. And I stop. Now, it'd be quite natural for me to want to go back, but I do want to do the centre. So I'm going to get the little circle and I'm just going to create another little pattern within here. And by stopping with the needle down, as I said, it's really quite easy to then adjust your hand and get yourself comfortable. And I hope you can see what I'm doing and that my hand isn't creating too much of a problem. And it's like, I don't mind that, but it's not quite standing out. So let's come in on the centre. Okay, reasonably happy with that, but I might set that off by ditching it, which might become a little bit more exciting. And remember, you know, I didn't plan this block, so this is where, as quilters, we're in charge. We get to have the fun. We get to create our own designs. So now I'm going to travel back up. And I actually quite like that line down the centre. So how about I travel back down to that one. And then I might actually travel up, because I can see it on the design of the fabric. Probably not the best move, but let's see how we go. Using the ruler as a guide. Come back. Oh, okay, I can, yeah, but that works. And then I'll just travel up. Just line myself up. And as you can see, I'm just sliding the rulers back and forth on my quilt top. I lost my circle. Here we go. Just before I get out of there, I'll just have a look and see whether I want to create like a little diamond in here. I might actually do that. So here we go. Okay, I am actually pleasantly surprised. So just playing, we created a completely different design. And I'm really, really happy with it. So let's have a look. There you go. So I think that's the thing. You know, dare to be a little bit different. It's your quilt, it's your style. You know, with a couple of small tools like a straight ruler and a couple of circles, you can create some pretty nice little elements in that quilted block. For block number 5, I decided to change my ruler foot because I really wanted to show you how Grace actually have several styles of ruler foot, and it's to basically help all quilters at different levels and different stages, and this fits the entire Unique 21 range. So what I did a sneaky and I changed this foot to the precision foot. Now it's really amazing because what it is see how this swivels. Okay, so this is the fabulous little True Cut ruler, and it's for doing what we've been doing, continuous line designs with our rulers. But the interesting thing is they have 3 feet in this set, and this one is called the True Track foot. And what that does is, you'll see the little grooves here, it actually locks on. So just lock that on, and what it is it's the same thing. It's for precision quilting, and once again it swivels. So this little guide here locks onto this guide here, and for the girls that find ruler work really hard, who want to push down or press or flip things up, it's awesome. It also means the ruler's not going to go underneath hit the needle and damage. So that's really ace. And this one's really good too. So it's the proper height, but this one's a roller bearing. So if you don't like guides, the wonderful thing about this one is, I wonder if you can see that little bearing swing. So it literally helps guide you. So for all of us that love to do the ruler work and do the modern quilting designs, that's how it works. So with the needle in the up position, I'm going to lock my ruler on, pop myself into position, pop my needle down. And you see I'm locked. And now, I've got to press the start button. I can literally just travel down. Move my ruler, and it's great. You just track so well. Now, listen to me. I actually went to move the ruler. I don't have to. See that? Old habits die hard, and this is where it is so good, because I just swiveled the ruler and the guide moved with me. So I can just stop. And because of the increments on this ruler, I can actually see where I am. So once again, I just slide, move up. And it's like, woo, okay. Now I did it again. See, old habits die hard. Just pop myself under, swivel, get myself in position. And as you can see, if you do what I just did because you're accustomed to the old style foot, it really doesn't matter. So now I'm going to just guide myself along here. Swivel. See, it's funny. You can teach old dogs new tricks. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just travel down and then and do 2 lines. Swivel. And this would be fabulous for creating chevrons on a quilt. Yeah, here we go. Straight down. So, how I'm measuring is, see this little point here? When it's reaching that stitch line, I then know I'm in alignment to where I would like to be. So here we go. So I don't actually always have to watch the needle, which is pretty fantastic. So I just guide myself. And, you know, if I wanted to, if you're a left-hander, you can switch to the other side. And you see the black part here of our little guide is just travelling along my stitch line. So it's really clever. And, you know, I travelled too far, so I can just come back, travel round, and here we go. So it's only taken a couple of minutes to change a bad habit over to a new habit. Now I'm just going to travel across and see how I've just used the guide here on the side so that I know I'm straight all the way up. And now I'm just going to... So this is would be pretty nice to create piano keys. So, you can just see I'm just hopping along, lining up. Oh, that's giving me really nice straight lines. And the really nice thing is, because the markings are coloured, I can actually see the marking lines on my previously stitched line. So it really is giving me the precision that I'd like. I think it's important to note that sometimes you just need to stay with it and get your mojo and get your quilting style. Don't give up. Climb that mountain. So I hope when you watch this little video, one of the things you take from Quilt Camp is learn to explore. Explore the different rule of feet that we actually have. Find the one that works for you in your journey. Explore the different shapes of rulers to create borders, to create block designs, to create continuous designs, modern, traditional. You can do so much more than just stitch a quilt. The second thing is, remember, safety first. If we do it safe, make sure that we are using a proper quilting ruler. Make sure that our rulers are at least 1/4 inch perspex, or specially designed rulers that make it easier for us, that have the proper markings on them, and make sure that you have your ruler base installed on your machine. That way your rulers won't tip. And number 3, always remember to have fun on your quilt journey. Thanks for watching.